took like 12 years, but I finally got there. Thank you for your patience, Emily.
Yeah.
And I am so glad that we are finally doing this. So just to get straight to the point, I met Emily a little while ago when we done a class together, and I remember thinking how much of a bookworm she was. She shared her knowledge, and she was such a caring, kind of knowledgeable woman, and we kind of we bonded over that. So what happened recently was I was freeing her Instagram, and I noticed, Emily, that you wrote a post about how you kind of, what we call in England, fall off the wagon. But as you called it, I think you called it something like taking a break, right? Or change. But we call it falling off the wagon. And you spoke a little bit. And the thing that kind of made me go, was when you started to talk about the amount you were drinking, and it made me laugh. And I thought, well, I'm sure, Emily, you do a lot of yoga and what's going on. But what I really liked about that post was the fact that you were really vulnerable, and you were really open, and you were really honest. And I like honesty. I like it when someone is talking from the heart, and that's what you were doing, and that's why we thought we'd do this show. So here's my first question to you. Like, what is when you were on fire, when you were having a really good daily program or really good routine, explain that. What good was before you fell off the wagon?
Oh man. So I would say it all started with my first training with Kashish, and we met through Kashish.
Yeah.
So before that, I mean, I was doing yoga regularly, but then about a year ago, my mom got me 200-hour training for Christmas, and I was like, yay, okay. So I started to do it, and then it was every day. Obviously, it's pranayama, asana, so movement, breath, meditation every day for 3 months.
Every day.
So that really kicked. Well, pretty much, except for, Saturday, Sunday, or maybe we even did Saturday. It's been a while. I think we just did it till Friday. So 5 days a week. And then on the off days, or just watching things to catch up, And so that was for 3. If you watch my post, I have a little bit of an addictive personality, right? So sometimes when I'm going into something, it can happen with good things like yoga.
Yeah.
Or it can happen with bad things like, drugs or whatever.
Yeah.
I got super into it.
And
so I just went head first. I started doing tons of trainings. So when I was really on fire, I was doing yoga at least 5 days a week. The bare minimum 10 minutes, but sometimes much longer.
Yeah.
And I was breathing regularly, doing breath work and meditation. I did so many trainings that it was impossible not to do it so regularly, because you have to do it in the trainings, so
the whole wellness agenda is massive at the moment. And you, from what I could see, you were on fire. You were doing yoga. You were kind of looking after yourself. Then it all went to shit.
It's like this whole self-improvement junkie. You could be addicted to it, and I think I was a little addicted to it, but it wasn't hurting me. But then I just came up against something that was bigger than that, and I had to revert back to my old habits, and I had to kind of just check out, and yoga makes you check in, and I just couldn't be in. So I was like, okay, I need to eat food at night when no one's looking and drink some wines, starting at 4:59.
Did you say some wine? It sounds like it was quite a lot to me. You were packing it away.
Well, I didn't fall or hurt myself. I didn't black out. So already, I think it's important, because sometimes I don't want to say I'll never drink wine, because I do like the way it tastes. I live in France. And I've actually have the first level of a sommelier. So I took like the test and everything. So I really like how it goes with food, but it's how you drink it. Are you drinking it with food, or are you just drinking it, like alone?
But the thing is, Emily, so what I like is the fact that, you know, like I say, on social media, there are so many people that talk about wellness, and not many people say, actually, I feel like fucking shit today, you know, or things aren't going well. You know, we just see so much, you know, what society would call perfection, you know, and you're coming in and you're saying, you know, I've been on social media for a long time, and, you know, I'm not doing yoga, and I'm not, you know, living this clean and healthy lifestyle. So I really applaud you for that. So where are you now?
Well, once I kind of made that public declaration, it was in part to help me too, just help other people by being real, but also help me be like, now everyone sees. So nowhere to hide. Like, this is how you're being. So it's a lot better now. I'm not getting, you know, throwing away empty wine bottles embarrassed at, you know, at 7 a.m.
But can I just quickly ask you, how did you feel?
At the worst, when I was really off.
When you recently stopped yoga and you stopped all these wonderful things that you'd learned, how did you feel?
Oh God, I felt like shit. I felt, first of all, just physically bloated, you know, swollen joints, swollen legs, everything was swollen, stagnant, creaky. I gained weight because I started to eat a lot too at night. Which is, I've had an eating disorder history, so it was not good, you know. I was basically binging. And then mentally, I was anxious. I felt disconnected. I wanted to disconnect because when I wasn't disconnecting, I was nervous. And then I also felt so guilty because I did have this business, you know. So I was like, oh, you're a yogi. What are you doing? You're so pathetic, you know, all the things. Yeah. And it's important that I'm not putting some fake idea of yoga. Like, I'm never the yogi anyway, doing the perfect pose, you know, or anything like that. But this was a whole nother level. So I felt really guilty. Yeah. It was bad. And also embarrassed.
And that is what I love about you. That's what I love. I love the fact that you're able to say, I felt guilty, I felt embarrassed, and I felt shit, you know? Because we don't hear that a lot, you know, we just hear how perfect everything's going. But I want to know, how are you doing at the moment? And what are, you know, like, how are things now? Are you still on the journey? Are you kind of, you know, are you back into yoga? Are you taking it slow? What's happening?
So I'm definitely back in. I was really worried about going up and down and up and down. So I didn't want to dive in full force and then burn out again, or be, you know, just not balanced, not sattvic, as we would say in yoga, right? Or in Ayurveda. So I was careful, and I started super easy, just 10 minutes a day. And I didn't even do it all the days, you know, trying to do breath, 5 minutes, and then every now and then a body-based meditation. So that's how I started. And it was working really good. And then these last 2 weeks, I've had actually yoga therapy training. So I haven't had a choice because I'm in training again, you know, so we do it every day for the training. So we'll see. This is my last week of training for yoga therapy for over a month. So we'll see how it goes when that's over, what I do.
So there's a saying in, you know, this world of yoga, etc., or the world of spirituality, if you like, that there's no such thing as a good or bad experience. You know, all experiences are valid. You know, you need the positive and the negative. You need the yin and the yang. It's all about balance, and it's all about learning. What have you learned from falling off that wagon?
Actually, I'm happy that I did. And it might sound cheesy, and I'm not trying to be like toxically positive or whatever. But I mean, I'm not happy that I felt like shit. Okay. And I'm not happy that I gained weight, for sure. But I am happy that I see now that yoga doesn't make you impermeable, and it doesn't make you perfect. It's a constant process.
Absolutely.
And it never ends. And no one is ever going to be a perfect yogi. And it's not a place for perfection, actually. And so it's been really healing for me, because I am a perfectionist. and just accepting that this isn't a place for that. And if that's there, it's actually not yoga, really. So just feels good.
Yeah, and I think people have a perception of yoga teachers, you know, that they've got their shit together, maybe.
It's like, here I am.
And So tell me just a little bit about the trauma therapy before we wind down. You know, what are you learning?
Oh, so I'm doing a trauma-informed yoga therapy program. And so every module has that piece of how can we make this trauma informed? Like, how can we make it accessible for everyone, no matter what? So we kind of go through every system of the body, every major facet, you know, digestion, endocrine, nervous, reproduction. And then we also had certain modules on trauma-informed yoga therapy and somatic counseling skills.
Somatic, yeah, I've heard of somatic.
Yeah. And so I'm almost finished with most of the modules. I just have Ayurveda and cancer modules left. Right, but I can start my case studies probably around the beginning of March. I'll be starting case studies. So we'll see how it works in practice, but it's when you're studying yoga therapy, at least for me, you have to do the work too. Like all these things we learn, first of all, it can make you a little hypochondriac. You know, you're like, do I have this? Do I have this? But then afterwards, you're like, okay, I can't be there for people if I've got all this crap going on, or if it triggers me. So you really have to explore, like, what are my triggers? What can I do? And things like that.
So you're going to start doing case studies, did you say?
Yeah, I'll start doing case studies. I have quite a few. So I'll work with people several sessions and then document it in writing. And then once those are all approved, then I'll be certified. It'll probably take like a year.
There is so much, you know, like I'm not sure, you know, a lot of people may agree or disagree with this statement, but I do believe every single person has trauma, but some people will look into that trauma and some people don't want to look in that trauma, and there's no right or wrong way, but trauma is here to stay whether we like it or not. And I believe, you know, it's there to teach us many things, and it sounds like that you want to understand trauma, understand the body, understand the mind, body and soul, so that while we're on this planet we can live to the best of our ability.
So, and just also how it affects our nervous system, because I think something that's been so healing for me was all growing up there was trauma. I didn't realize what it was, because it can be it's totally subjective. It depends on how you view the situation, how you react to it, if you're overwhelmed or not. And so for me, I didn't really realize, and I had all these kind of triggers and reactions that I didn't understand. And I felt bad about myself. I'm like, I'm defective. Why am I acting like this? What's wrong with me? Why am I sabotaging myself? And then I realized, oh, it's a normal response. It's your nervous system.
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest things that I've learned is about shame and blaming ourselves, you know. But okay, so listen, I'm conscious of the time. I'm really pleased that we finally made it. I think I had about 12 posts saying, you know,
you might have to go back and delete
and edit a lot of stuff, but you know, hey, we are trying to be as authentic as we can. We don't always get it perfectly right, even on Facebook Live. So okay, I'm going to put all your details. If anybody wants to kind of follow the work that Emily's doing around trauma informed therapy, I think it's called.
Trauma informed yoga.
Trauma informed yoga. You can follow her at
yoga where you are, just you letter R letter planted.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for
Louise,
turning up. I bow to divine in you. Namaste.
Namaste. And we're going to do this again. Only I think you'll be on my page. So
I've got so much more questions for you.
Me too. Ditto. Be prepared. Okay.
All right.
Now that we got this set up.
Ciao.
Bye.